Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take a top stories in crypto and break them down into bite-sized pieces. So today, as the thumbnail and title suggests, there is more contagion going on, and it looks like it's spread to blockchain.com. Also, a nice little lawsuit that Grayscale has administered to the SEC is going to take quite a long time. We'll look exactly about how long that could potentially be. We'll also take a look at how Celsius and Voyager looks like they are teaming up legally to take care of their, well, really what it comes down to, destruction in the face of all the contagion that's going on. And then lastly, we'll do that $3,000 giveaway for the winners from the unstoppabledomains.com, which we talked about last week. So let's just get into it because time is short. So first up, the markets are down. What a shocker. And I've decided that for any time I use sarcasm, I'm just going to use the star or hashtag sarcasm because it's kind of hard for people to figure that out sometimes on when I'm talking or when are in my Twitter feeds. So that's sarcasm. The markets are down. It is not a shocker. It just that's just how it is. So Bitcoin down 2%. Everything's down. Anything up? And yeah, Cosmos up 4.2. Congratulations, Cosmos. Monero. Maybe people don't want to be tracked and they want to do some private transactions. Good for that. ICP, for some ungodful reason, is up. Who knows? But that's what we have, and we are down 1.8%. And we are down below $1 trillion yet again at 950 billion. So the question then is, well, how correlated are we? Well, funny you should ask, because we're down 1.8%, and NASDAQ is down 1.94%. So pretty darn close to a little bit of correlation. I don't think it's as much as to the S&P. Yeah, because the S&P is only down a percentage point. So that's what the market's doing, and no surprise there. Let's get into the good stuff, which is Grayscale and the lawsuit. And there's a lot of lawsuits going on around, a lot of different things going on. So I had to lump them all together, and this is what is happening. So Grayscale legal officer says the Bitcoin ETF litigation could take years. Could take 2 years. I think that's a very conservative number. And if you were unaware, Grayscale has been trying forever to get a spot ETF, and it just hasn't gone through because of the SEC. Fine. And on this channel, I have made it abundantly clear that the Bitcoin ETF won't be approved anytime soon, maybe in my lifetime. And I know people are really bullish on that one, on that narrative. I'm just not, because the SEC, that's not what they're here for. They're here to disapprove that spot ETF. Futures and short ETF, sure, go right ahead. But for the spot ETF, no. So this is what we have, what's going on. Craig Somm, Chief Legal Officer at Grayscale, discussed the firm's lawsuit with the United States SEC regarding the conversion of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. I know they wanted this to happen quite badly because they were giving quite a discount for the fund itself, because they were pretty sure it was going to actually get turned into an ETF. And I was like, it's not happening. But I mean, what do I know? That's just pure history. According to the legal officer, the SEC's denial of the spot Bitcoin ETF separates futures and spot trading for Bitcoin ETFs and draws a distinction between the two. And they argue that the differences have no correlation with Bitcoin ETF approvals, as both futures and spot Bitcoin ETF prices are based on the same spot Bitcoin markets. So they may say, well, there's a bunch of manipulation going on and so on and so forth. Well, so is the same thing that happens in stocks. So is the same thing that happens into precious metals. And that is why JP Morgan is going through that big lawsuit for the spoofing of the precious metals and so on and so forth. So if they think that it's just us, it's not just us, it's everywhere. And they think they can't control it. Well, they did a pretty good job with the futures ETF. So I don't know. Thus, the Grayscale legal team believes that the disapproval of spot Bitcoin ETFs amid the approval of Bitcoin futures ETF can be considered unfair discrimination. That's pretty much it. I just want to do a little side note, first of all. If anybody comes to you and says, yeah, this ETF's right on the corner, just guide them back to this video or to this article, because I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly certain, again, I have no crystal ball, but it'd be very tough for the SEC to grant a spot Bitcoin ETF when there is active litigation going on with another company. So if they're saying this is going to take years to go through, the chances that this actually happens that an ETF comes about from somebody else. I just don't see it happening. Tell me where I'm wrong in the comment section, and let's move on from this. Contagion. So first of all, let's talk about Three Arrows Capital and the things that you can get away with when you're filthy rich. So Three Arrows creditors get emergency hearing as founders failed to cooperate. Creditors say the fund's remaining assets could be transferred or otherwise disposed of before creditors get their share. So creditors, people who invested a lot into 3AC, are like, hey, bring these people in. We need to get paid, and we need to have it happen now. Unfortunately, the lawyers that are representing, who is it? Suzu and Kyle Davies are like, we don't know where they're at. They were in Singapore at one time, but now they're not. So founders have not been cooperating in the proceedings so far, and their current location is unknown. Lawyers for the creditors that visited Three Arrows Singapore office found it abandoned, according to court documents. And these were documents that were just filed last Friday in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of New York. And then, of course, as this is going on, already NFTs belonging to Three Arrows NFT fund Starry Night have been transferred to a new wallet for unexplained reasons, and the creditors are seeking to freeze Three Arrows assets. But first, they are requesting the court to compel Three Arrows founders to list out the fund's assets. And that's kind of like the good part of going through Chapter 11. You got to pretty much lay that out. But in this situation, they're barely cooperating. They have their legal team answering for them. And I think it's going to be very hard to bring these guys to justice, but we will see. Anyhow, there is that part on top of this. CryptoContagion spreads to blockchain.com. And I always thought blockchain.com was not a exchange, but if you go to, let's just bring it up. It's actually an exchange, blockchain.com. I thought it was just an explorer. World's most popular way to buy, sell, and trade crypto, trusted by millions since 2011, with over $1 trillion in crypto transactions. It's pretty good. So here's what's going on in this situation. So blockchain.com is at risk of losing $270 million loan to crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital. Another one. So again, good luck finding this guy in Davies. But here we go. Three Arrows is rapidly becoming insolvent, and the default impact is approximately $270 million worth of crypto and US dollar loans from blockchain.com, said Peter Smith, chief of the crypto exchange. Smith added that blockchain.com remains liquid and solvent, assuring customers won't be impacted by the 3AC contagion. Let me read that one more time to you. Smith, chief of the crypto exchange, added that blockchain.com remains liquid and solvent, assuring customers won't be impacted by the 3AC contagion. Who believes anything that anybody says anymore? Who is like, that makes sense. I know you give a pretty big loan and you're missing, $250 million. Sure, you're okay. They might be. I have no idea. Neither do you. And the only ones that actually really 100% know that would probably be Peter Smith. So when I hear these exchanges talk about, don't worry, we're solvent. Your funds are safe. We've implemented a very risk-averse strategy, and you should have no problems. Your funds will be available. Your funds are safe. Your funds are safe. Well, your funds are safe. When I hear that, the first thing that I think of these days is take everything off the exchange. So there's these rules underneath me. I think everybody knows them. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because just kind of think of like it's all gone. You'd be okay. Everything's a scam. Don't leave anything on exchanges. Don't use leverage. 25, 50x is not good unless you're like some super pro, but I get cry stories all the time in my email and DMs. And lastly, take profits along the way. If you're going to DCA in, take profits along the way, because nobody ever went broke taking profits. So again, number 3, if I had anything on blockchain.com or any exchange right now, I would be rushing to take it off and putting it into cold storage, or at the very minimum MetaMask wallet. But again, I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. And this isn't financial advice. These are the things that I do. These are my rules. So moving forward, 3AC has borrowed and repaid over $700 million worth of crypto from blockchain.com. Smith said, yeah, over time, I believe that's true. Blockchain.com and crypto derivatives exchange Deribit reportedly told Bloomberg that the two creditors are cooperating with investigations into Singapore-founded 3AC. So there's the story, and it's up to you to decide what is best for you. Let me know what you're going to do in the comment section. That's always interesting. And then next to last, Celsius and Voyager are teaming up kinda legally. And what I mean here is that there was an article, Celsius crypto bankruptcy saga meets new restructuring lawyers. So crypto lender Celsius has hired the new restructurer lawyers from Kirkland and Ellis LLP. Kirkland Ellis is also advising Voyager Digital, which is filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on July 5th. So it makes me wonder, is that the next step for Celsius to come into bankruptcy? I got to tell you, we did a long video yesterday about Voyager and the documents that were presented in court recently. And it's eye-opening to see just how transparent everything is and how much they have and how much debt they have and how much they loaned out and everything else. It's good. And I think if Celsius goes this way, I mean, at the very minimum, you get to see more, there's more transparency about how much is lost and how much is actually available. But the question then becomes, how long is this going to take? Anyhow, but it is interesting that they teamed up with the same team. Celsius has reportedly resisted filing for bankruptcy as recommended by its lawyers. Let me say that again. Celsius has reportedly resisted filing for bankruptcy as recommended by its lawyers despite freezing user withdrawals and transfers for almost a month. In June, Celsius hired another group, Akin Gump, Strauss, Auer, and Feld, and they fired them apparently. Celsius restructured its board of directors in late June, terminating John Stephen Dubel, nailed it, founder of restructuring services provider Dubel and Associates, after 8 days of service. So they went through that. Then they went through Akin, Gump, Strauss, Auer, and Feld, and now they're with somebody else, Kirkland and Ellis. So that could be good. I'm not going to hold my breath, but on top of Celsius news, here's some Voyager news. This was an email I got this morning, and if you're a Voyager customer, you probably got it yourself, but I just found it not earth-shattering information. I mean, it's the same thing. Hey, we went on our first day's motion, Chapter 11, the bankruptcy court. They granted us relief. Everything's good. How does the reorganization process impact my cash? We are working to restore access to USD deposits. Customer USD belongs to customers and will return to those same customers subject to a reconciliation and fraud prevention process. By who? Well, that's by Metropolitan Bank, which holds your money. Is the USD in my account FDIC insured? We've gone back and forth about this, and here's what they say. Yes. Yes. That's what they said. It is FDIC insured. However, USD in your Voyager account is held at Metro Commercial Bank of New York and is FDIC insured. That means you are covered in the event of Metropolitan Commercial Bank's failure, up to a maximum of $250,000 per Voyager customer. FDIC insurance does not protect against the failure of Voyager. Let me say that again. FDIC insurance does not protect against the failure of Voyager, but to be clear, Voyager does not hold customers' cash. That cash is held at Metropolitan Commercial Bank. So here's my question. If my money, because I had a little bit of money left over, is being held there, and your money's being held over there at Metropolitan Commercial Bank, then, and it's not with Voyager, why can't we just go to Metropolitan Commercial Bank and say, give me my money? It's my money. That's the question. Well, it's because they have to do a reconciliation and fraud prevention process. That's just what it said here. We'll get to that a little bit. What will happen to crypto in my account? That's a great question. Voyager currently has approximately 1.3 billion of crypto assets on its platform. 1.3 billion. That's quite a bit. Plus claims about Three Arrows Capital of more than 650 million. And of course, it fluctuates. Okay, gotcha. Under Voyager's proposed reorganization plan, which is subject to change, this is what they want to do. Shares of crypto, pro rata, prorated, meaning you're going to take a haircut. You're not going to get all of it. Probably. I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer. And then shares of proceeds from the 3AC recovery, which good luck with that. I think these guys are gone. I don't know how they're going to find them. And they could be in a plethora of places. Nobody really knows. Even their lawyers don't even know, or they're not saying. So just keep that in mind. Share of common shares in newly reorganized company, meaning you're going to get shares in Voyager as a publicly traded company, and shares of existing Voyager tokens or VGX. Let me ask you, is that what you want? Sound off in the comment section. Can you tell me how much of the crypto I'll get back? We are proposing that customers will receive their crypto as described above. However, the exact numbers will depend on what happens in the restructuring process. Again, I think you're going to take a haircut. We're all going to take haircuts. What's next? Our next court hearing is August 4th. That's like, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks away? We will be seeking further relief to stabilize operations. This notice requires no part. And that's about it. So, again, apparently, from what it looks like to me, the USD is not held in Voyager. And Voyager does not hold customer cash. That cash is held in. The question then is, well, whose cash is that? When we deposit, is that legally Voyager's? Or is that legally still ours and they are just holding it? And of course, that's Metropolitan. And that'd be the big question I'd want to know. But we won't know unless we try. I wonder who's out there who's just going to Metropolitan and going, give me my money, see what they say. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Let's get into one good piece of news. And I know it sucks that, I'm not too bullish all the time or anytime lately. But I will say this. I got a friend. His name's Alex. We call him Negatron because he's always negative. And we always run ideas by him. And he's 99% of the time he says, that's a dumb idea. But the one time that we do have an idea, we run it by him, he's like, that's a pretty good idea. We know we hit a winner. So the day that I turn really bullish, you'll know that it really is bullish and not the kind of trash that you see every place else, a bunch of hopium. Just saying. And that's all for today. Now let's get into a little giveaway. So this was a contest we did, I think it was last week, where I said, hey, Unstoppable Domains is giving away $500 to 6 people who have it's funny, has a .blockchain domain. And we got about 30 some responses from people, and they fill out this form and they put it in. And really what it was supposed to be, Unstoppable Domains says, hey, we want to do this giveaway. How much would it be for the thing? I'm like, I'm not hurting, but other people are hurting. So just don't pay me and just give it all to them. So $500 to everybody who has this blockchain URL. And again, you can find all these things on Unstoppable Domains. I don't have an affiliate link. It's just linked at the very top called unstoppabledomains.com. You can go there yourself. It doesn't matter. But let's give some stuff away. So, we have 38 entries. Okay, so here we go. Here's the first one. Sweet. Ooh, EduGamer. EduGamer.blockchain. Congratulations, you won $500. And what I'm going to do is, now, I'll just go back and get him. So what they're going to do is Unstoppable Domains will reach out to you because they have your information. I don't have the information. They have it. So they'll reach out to you via however they usually contact you, and they'll settle up with you that $500. Okay, close. Let's do this again. Oh, I should have removed it. Shoot. So if you win again, I can't give you $1,000. All Good Media. Congratulations, $500. And it looks like CryptoDevop.blockchain. Congratulations. Let me remove that. I should have done that before. My bad. And Space Monk. Congratulations. I think that's 4. Did we do this one already? All Good Media. All Good Media. $500. Dr. Dan. That is not me. I'm just letting you know. So that is the 6. So what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll write those and I'll get those in and I'll give those unstoppable domains. So those are the winners. That was, correct me if I'm wrong, was that 6? Where's Vanna White? Hilarious. Congrats, Dr. Dan. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Neil Diamond. Congrats all. That's 6. Okay. Thank you. Someone can count. I can't count. So look, that's it for today.